Hello, I am so excited to be back with you today for another counseling lesson. Today we're going to be talking about something really important that everyone experiences, adults, kids, everyone. So we're going to learn something really helpful, not just for you, but maybe for your mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or brother or sister too. So make sure you really listen and you can teach them about everything you learn here today. Before we get started, let's just take a couple of deep breaths. Remember, that fills our body with that really good air, ready to help us learn, ready to help us make it an awesome day. So let's just do a couple of those to get started. Let's do our big deep breaths reaching up over our head to really stretch our body at the same time. So remember, when we do this big deep breath, we take a big deep breath in, lifting our hands up overhead, and then as we breathe out, we push it all away. Good. Breathe in, breathing in the love and the kindness that surrounds you, and breathe out anything else. Remember, you can close your eyes or leave your eyes open, whatever feels best for you. I like closing my eyes so I can really imagine breathing in all that good and breathing out anything I don't need anymore. Let's do one more. Make sure your back is straight. You're sitting proud in that seated mountain pose. Big deep breath in through your nose. Breathing in all the love that surrounds us, breathing in all the good. And then as we breathe out anything that makes us feel sad, anything icky inside, anything we don't need anymore. Very good job. I hope that filled your body with some good fresh air and also woke your body up a little bit, got it moving just a little bit. Let's lift our shoulders up to our ears and then push them back down our back. Let's do that 3 times. Up towards your ear and down your back. Last one, up towards your ears and then down your back. Sometimes we sit like this because we have a lot of tension. Tension usually comes if we're feeling scared or worried or stressed, something like that. So it's important to remember to put our shoulders back down. That feels so much better on our body and helps us to have such a better posture. So if you ever feel yourself like this, remember to lift them up but then set them right back down. Sometimes you might be feeling like this when you have problems, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Problems that we have. We all have problems, like I said when we started. Adults have problems, kids have problems. We all have problems. It doesn't matter where you live, how old you are. It doesn't matter what school you go to. Everyone has different problems that they have to deal with. So I wanted to spend some time today talking about these problems and maybe giving you some ideas that could help you the next time a problem comes up for you. So to get us started, I want to introduce you to 2 objects. First, can you tell what this is? If you know what it is, say it out loud. Yeah, it's a rock. And then this. You know what this is? Of course you do. This is Play-Doh. I picked orange today because I thought it was really bright and it would make for a good, happy day. Good, so we've got Play-Doh and we've got a rock. You might be wondering, Miss Kirk, why do you have a rock and some Play-Doh? I thought you said we were learning about problems. Well, we are, and I'm going to use these 2 objects to describe a way for us to think about our problems. I use this way to think about my problems, and I thought it might help you too. So let's think about our problems. I like to say that we have 2 types of problems. We have rock problems and we have Play-Doh problems. That might sound silly, but stay with me. Let's first talk about what rock problems are. Rock problems are the kind of problems that we have that we can't fix, at least not right away. I call them rock problems because we can push and push and push on the problem. Is a rock going to change if I push and push and push on it? No, I'm not strong enough to change anything about this rock because it's a rock, right? So I can push, it can make me mad, I can be upset about the problem. But if I push and push and push on it, is it going to change? Nope, the rock stays the exact same shape. It doesn't change. I can't change it no matter how much I push on it or squeeze it or anything. It stays exactly the same. Now let me think about what a Play-Doh problem is. A Play-Doh problem is the exact opposite of a rock problem. A Play-Doh problem is a problem that we can change because look what happens as I squeeze this Play-Doh. Is it changing? Yeah, it was a big ball. And then I changed it to a snake. I could even build it into a dog or maybe even a heart. I could change it into lots of things because it's Play-Doh and it can be changed. So a Play-Doh problem is the kind of problem that we can change. There is something we could do about it to fix it. Now, the reason I like to think of my problems as rock problems and as Play-Doh problems, because when a rock problem comes up, it reminds me that I can be really mad or really worried or really scared about that problem. But is it going to change? No. So it's kind of a waste of my time to be that worried or scared or mad about the problem. Because really all I'm doing is pushing on a rock that's never going to change. But we have those kind of problems that can be fixed, that can be changed, and those are our Play-Doh problems. And it's really important that we know they're Play-Doh problems so that we fix them, so that we change them. If we think, oh, well, it'll never change. If it's a Play-Doh problem, you're wrong because it can be changed. All you have to do is change it. It's Play-Doh, just like all I have to do is mold it, build it, do whatever I want with it, right? So that might sound a little confusing, but we're going to talk about it more so that you really understand the difference between our rock problems and our Play-Doh problems. I have some paper here, and I want to write down some examples. I thought this might be helpful. So to write down my Play-Doh problems, I'm going to use an orange marker since I have orange Play-Doh. So I'm going to write Play-Doh at the top. Play-Doh problems. Remember, these are the problems that can be changed. So I'm going to leave that there, and then I'm going to get another piece of paper. What color should I use for my rock problems? My rock is kind of brown. I guess I could use a brown marker. All right, so on this one, we're going to write rock problems. If you want to do this at home, you can. You can write Play-Doh problems on one piece of paper and rock problems on another to help remind you which is which. So this morning I had a problem. You want to hear about my problem? You know my dog Crew? He's actually getting his hair cut right now, so he hasn't joined us for today's lesson. Usually he does. Well, Crew and I were out on a walk, and guess what? It started raining. We had a problem. We didn't have raincoats. We were getting soaking wet. It was a problem. I could have gotten really, really mad about that problem. I could have been angry and frustrated and upset that I was getting wet and my clothes were getting wet and my puppy dog was getting wet. But let's think about which type of problem that was. It started raining. Can I change that? What do you think? Say it out loud. Can I change the fact that it's raining? No, I don't have control over the weather. I can't stop the rain. So, do you think that would be a Play-Doh problem or a rock problem? The rain. Can I change it? No, we said I couldn't change it. So that makes it a rock problem. Because remember, we said I could get frustrated and mad and upset and angry that I got all wet and crew got all wet. But would that change anything? No. So it's a rock problem. So on rock problem, I'm going to write weather. Because not just rain, but other weather could be a rock problem too. Like sometimes we have scary storms. We have tornadoes or thunderstorms. Sometimes we have hail. And that could really scare us. It could really worry us. It could even make us mad because it could ruin our plans. But can we control the weather? No, we can't control the weather. So getting mad about it would just be pushing on a rock. It wouldn't solve anything. So weather goes on our rock problem list. It is a problem sometimes, but there's not a lot we can do about it. So there's not a real good reason to get really mad. So this morning when I was on my walk with crew and it started raining, instead of getting mad and frustrated and upset, I took a couple of deep breaths. Calmed my body, and then I walked home as fast as I could so I didn't get too wet. That was a way I could help fix the problem, but I couldn't change the weather. If I just would have stood out there and been mad and screaming at the weather, well, that would have been like pushing on a rock, right? Wouldn't have fixed anything. Let's think of another problem that we might have. I'll tell you an example of another problem I had yesterday. Yesterday, I wanted to make a cake. And if you know how to make a cake, you know it has certain ingredients in it. And those ingredients are usually like a cake mix, or maybe if you're making it from scratch, it's flour and sugar, and eggs, and sometimes it needs butter, oil. There's several ingredients. And when I got ready to make the cake, I realized I didn't have the ingredients. I didn't have everything I needed to make the cake. I had a problem. I didn't have eggs and I didn't have oil. I was out of both of those things. So I could have gotten really, really angry about this, but instead I started thinking, which type of problem is this? Is it a rock problem or is it a Play-Doh problem? I didn't have eggs and I didn't have oil. Well, because I'm old enough to drive a car, and because I work hard and have money in the bank to buy things I need, it was a Play-Doh problem. Because guess what? All I had to do was get in the car, go get eggs, and go get oil, and come back home, and guess what I got to do? Bake a cake! Exactly! It was a Play-Doh problem. It was able to be fixed. It was able to be solved. All I had to do was think of a way to solve it. So I fixed it. Just like I can change Play-Doh's shape, I changed that problem. I made the problem go away. So sometimes a problem can easily go away, and that's a Play-Doh problem. I still had to fix it myself. I still had to figure out how to make it go away, but I was able to fix it. So that was a Play-Doh problem for me. Very good. We'll talk about more examples as we go on. If you can think of others that are rock problems or Play-Doh problems and you wrote your list, go ahead and add them. You also might think of some others as we do our next activity. I have some cards here, and on these cards, on one side it says rock problem or Play-Doh problem. And on the other side, it gives an example of a problem. So I want you to see if you can guess which type of problem these examples are. So warm your hands up. Send some good power to your brain. All right, we're going to see how much you know about rock problems and Play-Doh problems. So let's get started. This is a good one. You really wish you had an older brother. Maybe you don't have any older siblings, any older brothers or sisters, and you wish you did. You think it'd be so cool to get to have an older brother. Is that a rock problem or a Play-Doh problem? If you know it, shout it out. I'll give you a second to think about it. You wish you had an older brother. All right, I hope you got it right. Let's talk about it. You wish you had an older brother. That would be pretty cool to have an older brother to get to hang out with, to get to play with, to get to learn new things from. But if you don't have an older brother, is that something you can change? Rock or Play-Doh? If you said rock, I think you're right. We can't change if we have an older brother or an older sister. That's not something we can control. We could be so angry that we don't have one. We could really wish we did. We could really want to have one. We could ask our mom and dad. We could really beg. But would it change anything? No, an older brother or sister would have had to have been born before you. We can't go back in time. I don't know of a time machine at least. So that's a, yep, you guessed it, a rock problem. Ooh, this is a good one. Rock problem or Play-Doh problem? You forgot to do your homework. You had a math assignment you were supposed to do last night and you woke up and you realized, I didn't do my math assignment. Rock problem or Play-Doh problem? What do you think? Is that something you can change? Is that something you have control over? Making it a Play-Doh problem? Or is that something you can't change? You can't do anything about it? Rock problem. It's kind of a tricky one. Think about it for a second. If you think you know, yell it out. If you said Play-Doh problem, I think you're right. Let's talk about why forgetting to do your homework is a Play-Doh problem. I think it's a Play-Doh problem for several reasons. The first is because you could hurry and try to do it real quick. That would fix the problem, right? That's something you can control, you can change, you can fix. You also have the ability to learn ways to help you remember. Maybe you need to write it down, or maybe you need to set out your math homework so you remember every day. Those are things you can do, right? You can change those things so that you don't forget. That makes it a Play-Doh problem. There are things you can do to help fix forgetting to do your homework. So I think that's a Play-Doh problem. Even if you already got to school and you don't have time to do it then, could you talk to your teacher about maybe coming in at recess to do it? Or maybe being able to do it the next day and just getting some points taken off? All sorts of ideas of ways you could fix that problem, which makes it a Play-Doh problem. Right, we couldn't fix the problem of not having a big brother. That was a rock problem, but we can fix forgetting our homework. That's Play-Doh. All right, ooh, this is a tough one. Rock problem or Play-Doh problem? You really wish your mom and dad would stop fighting. Maybe you hear them fighting through the walls, or you saw them fighting one time and it makes you feel really sad inside. Makes you feel upset. You don't like it. You don't like seeing your mom or your dad upset. You don't like hearing the fighting. It's a pretty big problem. What do you think? You want mom and dad to stop fighting. Would that be a Play-Doh problem or a rock problem? Can you fix that? Say it out loud if you think you know. If you said rock problem, I think you're right. Do we have control over mom and dad? No. They're adults. They make their own decisions. I call this one an adult problem. We can't fix adult problems. Sometimes we might wish we could, but we can't because they're the adult's problem. And as the kid, it makes it a rock problem for you. Mom and dad could figure out how to fix it, but you, as their son or daughter, it's a rock problem for you. You can't fix it. So we could get really upset that they're fighting. It can make us really sad, but it's kind of like pushing on a rock that we can't change. There's nothing we can do to make them stop fighting. So that's a rock problem for us. Let's see, let's do a different one. You keep getting in trouble for talking in class. Ooh, rock problem or Play-Doh problem? I bet you guys are getting to be pros, so we'll go a little faster. If you said Play-Doh problem, I think you're right. Who has control over if you're talking in class? You do, of course, you have control over that. So you could fix the problem of getting in trouble for talking during class by stopping talking. That's a Play-Doh problem. Easy to fix. You have control over it. You can change it. Just like I can change the shape of my Play-Doh. Very good. You want to go next on the swings at the playground. Rock problem or Play-Doh problem? Maybe all the swings are taken, but you've really been wanting to swing. Think about it. Rock problem or Play-Doh problem? If you said Play-Doh problem, I think you're right. That's another one we can change. How could you change that? Think about it. Maybe say it out loud. Yeah, you could wait in line. You could ask the people who are swinging if you could go next. You could come up with a rule that maybe you count to 100 and then switch, and then the other person counts to 100 and switches. Lots of different things you could do to help fix that problem. You can't just push them off because that's not fair, but you could think of a kind way to make this a Play-Doh problem. Yeah, very good. Okay, let's see. I like this one. You wish your family all lived in the same house. I know I've had this problem before. My brother lives far away and my mom and dad live far away. Sometimes it makes me feel sad. I wish we could all live in the same place. So with this problem, wishing your family all lived in the same place, be a rock problem or a Play-Doh problem? What do you think? Think about it for a second. Can we change where all of our family lives? Can we easily change that? Or is that something we can't control? If you said rock problem, I think you're right. Because we can't control where all of our family lives. My brother got to make the choice to move to Texas. My mom and dad made the choice to live in Oklahoma City. And I made the choice to live in Tulsa. So we don't all live in the same place, but that's not something I can control. That's a rock problem. So if you wish mom or dad lived in the same house, or maybe your brothers or sisters, or even your grandma or grandpa, that's a normal feeling. I feel that way too. But we can be upset about it, we can be sad about it, and that's just like pushing on a rock. You're right, because it's not going to change as much as we get upset about it. So that would be a rock problem. Very good. We have a couple more, but we'll save those for another time. It sounds like you guys are doing a great job understanding the differences between our rock problems and our Play-Doh problems. And remember, you could make a list at home and include all the different rock problems. We talked about the weather being one, but then when we were using our cards, we said rock problems might be our mom and dad fighting, or wishing all of our family lived in the same place, or wishing we had an older brother. Those would be ones we could add to our list. Our Play-Doh problems, we talked about wanting to go next on the swings. That's a Play-Doh problem. Getting in trouble for talking in class, that's a Play-Doh problem. Forgetting our homework, that's a Play-Doh problem. Because we have control over those things and we can change them. Our rock problems, we can't control. Very good job today, guys. All right, I'm gonna put my Play-Doh up and my rock up. As we end, I just want to do a couple of deep breaths. We worked really hard today and learned a lot of new things, so I want to make sure our body feels calm, ready to make it a great rest of the day. So if you're not sitting in crisscross, come back to your crisscross. Make sure your back is straight. Make sure those shoulders are down your back. Good. We'll do those same breaths that we started with where we breathe in and out. As we breathe in, you may close your eyes or leave them open, whatever feels best with you. Breathing in, and then breathing out. We'll do 2 more. Breathing in through your nose, breathing in all that love and kindness that surrounds you, and breathing out any of those problems that you don't need anymore. Maybe they're rock problems, maybe they're Play-Doh problems, but either way, try to breathe them out. Last one, biggest one yet, breathing in. All that strength, all that courage, all that love. And breathing out, pushing away anything else. Very good job. You may open your eyes if they were closed. Great job today learning about the difference between our Play-Doh problems and our rock problems. This really helps me anytime I have a problem to remember which type it is and remind me that if it's a rock problem, I can't change it, so I shouldn't let it bother me quite so much. We'll talk more about this in the future, but I hope that you're able to remember it and use it and help it. And I hope that it helps you make it an awesome day today and every day. I'll see you guys again soon. I hope you have a wonderful day filled with kindness. Thank you. Bye-bye.